Alright, this is Miss Huss here. This week we're going to tie everything together, so let's do that together. So, readers can use their knowledge from reading books to look at issues that exist in the world through a variety of perspectives. I want you to take a second, pause the video, underline, talk about the keywords. So, I think knowledge is a keyword, and that's what we've learned. From reading books to look at issues, we want to look at social issues that exist is like happening around us. In the world, we can think of the USA, we can think of China, we could think of Mexico, the Dominican Republic, through a variety. That means more than one. And then perspectives. When we think of perspectives, we want to think of point of view or even like an opinion. All right, so as we're filling out the chart that I have for you, I want you to think about how can my reading help me to look at issues that exist in the world through a variety of perspectives. So we read different books. One of the books we read was Mama Mitty. Another book we read was Those Shoes. And the last one was Maddie's Fridge. So when we figure out start to think about our point of view, we want to think about the social issue. So the social issue that we faced was poverty. Okay. So before we even begin, I had a point of view on poverty. So when I was thinking about poverty, I was thinking that poverty is when people don't have enough money for food or have a job. Now, I have a different point of view. And the more I think about it, I think about poverty affects many people, even children. When people don't have enough money, it is hard to focus on other things. So we should help those people. So I put that in my now box, okay? Now let's look at the next box. This one is how did your perspective or your point of view, remember that's like opinion, change or grow as you read more about your social issue? Well, I think it's changed. We can see it from the beginning right here to now. So my point of view has changed because I learned that it affects a lot of people, even kids. I never thought of that. And so now I believe it is important to help people affected by poverty. Now we need to look at how can your knowledge of the social issue help make the world a better place? How can you be a superhero? So what can I do to help poverty to make a world a better place? Well, now that I think about it, I know more about poverty, so I can be a superhero by using resources I have to help others. Maybe I have some extra money that I can use to buy things for others. So my last question is, How can you teach others about your social issue? Well, I learned more about my social issue by reading books, so I think I can teach others about poverty by sharing books with them. So I filled out my chart. Let's go back to the question. How can my reading help me to look at issues that exist in the world through a variety of perspectives? So when I look at my books, Mama Mitty, Those Shoes, and Maddie's Fridge, I start to come up with an idea. From Those Shoes and Maddie's Fridge, I see that kids are being affected by poverty. Okay? And then in Mama Mitty, I see something a little bit different. Instead of kids, which was a part of it, I think there was help. So Mama Mitty helped those in need, and they dealt with poverty. So if we think about it, in the first two stories, Those Shoes and Maddie's Fridge, kids, we saw it both in Jeremy's shoes and Maddie's shoes, where they didn't have enough money for things that they needed. And then Mama Minty kind of came up with a solution of how to help those people that needed this to be self-efficient. Okay? So for this week, you're going to fill out the chart linked into the assignment on Canvas to reflect on your reading and learning from our social issues unit. You might want to keep this handy for our second task.